It's FIBA Afrobasket 2017 Group B action. It's Morocco against Angola. And it's been a fantastic day here in Dakar. Some cracking basketball. And we've still got another 40 minutes to go. Here's how Group B stands. The Central African Republic managed to win earlier on, so they're 1-1, currently top of the group, but the winner of this game will leapfrog them by the end of the day. And the two teams are being introduced to the crowd. There is Morocco just coming out. Now Angola will be introduced. Daniel Rowers, Ryan Greco here as your commentary team. And Ryan, it's been a good day so far, and in the last game out we saw Senegal throw down a marker to the competition, show them what they're all about. Can either of these two teams follow suit here? Well,
it really seems like this one is going to definitely be a little bit closer. Morocco is going to be in tough, though. I mean, this Angolan team, after a very slow start against Uganda, put up one of the more valiant comebacks that we've seen so far in this tournament. And I doubt that we're going to see such a slow start from the Angolans this time around.
Well, yeah, they, in all reality, could easily have got beaten Angola in their first game against Uganda. They trailed for 39.5 minutes in that game, but managed to sneak it out in overtime. It's all about how you finish. They have a great record against Morocco, 7-1 all time in Afrobasket play, including a very narrow win last time out in the group stages a couple of years ago, 68-67. But now we will rise for the national anthems of the two teams. For the national anthem of Angola. Okay, then we got 3 minutes to go now to tip off here in Dakar. And it's Angola against Morocco, the 11-time champions, against a team that did win gold, but way back in 1965. Angolans, of course, won in 2013. They'd won 6 in a row before losing in the final in 2011. And they will have the ambition to get back on the top step as we see our 3 officials for tonight. Mr. Vito, Mr. Figadu, and Mr. Maga, sorry. And they will be in control of proceedings over the next hour and a half or so. And I think really the question is, what can Angola bring here? Because obviously we saw 2 different sides to them yesterday. We saw first half Angola and second half Angola.
It's really more than anything right now for Angola is going to be all about how they start this game. And as I alluded to earlier at the beginning of our broadcast, we're not going to see the same Angolan team as we see the starting lineup here, or sorry, as you see the complete roster. These guys are going to be hungry right now. They're going to be looking to set a precedent and say, look, at the end of the day, we're still the most decorated team in this tournament. We now have something to prove. We've got a lot to prove to a lot of these teams. A lot of teams, the rest of the teams in our group are now going to be looking at us as if to say, you know what, we could probably pull it out against these guys as well if Uganda can do it. And their hopes right now at the very start of this game is going to be to shatter any kind of pre-notions of that kind of situation happening. But, of course, as you alluded to, Morocco has played Angola tough. They've played them tough in the most recent tournament. This is a Moroccan team that has only been getting better as the decade has went on. And really, I wouldn't be surprised here if Morocco could pull off the improbable as we're taking a look at their full roster here. But above all else, what they're going to have to do more than anything is making sure that Angola is not going to be able to work their inside-out game, because Angola has, outside of maybe Senegal, the best skilled big men in this tournament. They can do a whole lot of stuff, but the thing that they can do even a little bit better than the Senegalese is finding the outside man in the perimeter. Their forwards are fantastic at finding open shots for their guards by working that inside-out game. And Morocco, the smaller team in this one, is going to have to do everything they can to make sure they're clogging up those lanes against the Angolan offense.
Well, the Moroccans had a hard-fought game against Central African Republic. They won that one 76-66, and it'll be interesting to see what they get today, because they'll need to up their level a little bit from that. Najar was the top rebounder in that game with 6, and Wilkins will come off the bench. He had 15 points. Kodaru made life difficult as well, and you see the starting 5 lineup. And yeah, I guess from a Moroccan point of view, they will have looked at their game Uganda played against them and thought, well, you know, if we come out early and get on top of them quick, that will be the key. But whichever team wins this game will be top of the group, and the losers will have to try and do something on the final day of group stages tomorrow. And the referee's trying to call them out. So let's get it on, folks.
Yep, there we go. And once again, we're hoping that this is going to be, I mean, if it's any indication of the games we've seen today, this one's going to be another tough one. Very evenly skilled teams, teams that are very familiar with each other. And of course, as we said, you know, this has kind of been the running theme for this entire tournament so far, has been the so-called second-tier teams really kind of rising to the occasion here in Afrobasket 2017 and challenging the top dogs. And we've definitely seen that both from teams like Senegal. We've seen it from teams now like Uganda, and a team like Angola now is going to be looking to try and hold on to their perch, if you will, staying in the top tier of African basketball. But you can just see it's a testament to just how talented this continent as a whole is starting to become, and how it's not going to just be dominated by 2 or 3 teams anymore. Even with what we saw in Tunisia with Nigeria just narrowly escaping the Ivory Coast, it's just another example of these teams like the Moroccos of Africa really coming up and now trying to make a name for themselves. And this is going to be one of those opportunities right here in this group stage matchup.
Well, there's Morales came up with some big shots late on in the game, despite struggling with that finger injury. You can see it's strapped up still, and it was definitely bothering him after the shot. He would make the shot and he'd come back down court. You could see he was holding it yesterday, but he's good to go.
Any man with that many tattoos is usually a pretty tough customer.
That's true, and it's Morocco who get things underway here.
in this final game of day 2 of the FIBA Afrobasket 2017. And the long rebound, that was a bit slack. The long rebound had come out to Jua, but Larici in the corner couldn't hang on to it.
Now, if there's any consolation, regardless of this outcome, I think I'm already going to say that Morocco actually has the probably the best looking jerseys I've seen so far in this tournament.
Yeah, lovely golden numbers on the back. There's Marrero, was huge for them in overtime yesterday. Fowler kicks it out, and there is Maras behind the arc for 3, but can't get that first one to go.
He's got to get that spin going here, and it's going to be tough with that taped up hand, but if he had a little bit more spin on that, I'm pretty sure it would have just bounced off the back of the rim and in.
There's Jua from behind the arc for 3, doesn't go. Costa around the screen. Locked inside to Marrero. Kick back out again, and nice play, but he didn't quite have enough on it. Paulo.
Yeah, just jumped a little bit too far out there. Maybe an extra dribble would have gotten him through.
Sure moves it on to Najar. And now the play being called by Al-Masabi. In trouble. Najar has to shoot from the elbow on the shot clock buzzer, and he knocks it down. First points of the game. Took almost 2 minutes to come.
Well, it wasn't pretty, but Morocco will definitely take it. Najar, right place, right time, creates the separation, gets a nice little jump shot in there. And Morocco's got to feel good about being on the board first.
Paulo driving in, dumps it off, comes back. Ambrosio's shot doesn't go.
There's Najar boxing out the shooter. Excellent job there.
Najar running the floor. He's blocked from behind, gets his own rebound, and tries a second attempt. And Marrero, who did the blocking in the first place, gets the boards.
There's Marrero. How dominant was he in the overtime period versus Uganda?
Doing exactly stuff like this, getting rebounds and causing trouble in the paint, but they force him out. Fowler driving in under all sorts of pressure from Najar. Ball is loose, and eventually Mesbahi pulls it in. Nice from Larici, taking it to the hole.
Larici, we saw plenty of that against the Central Africans yesterday. Just some incredible finishes at the rim. And he can get up there too, throw it down if you're not careful.
Marrero hands it off. Paulo dumps inside, and there's Ambrosius lane doesn't go.
Don't look now though, but Angola having some trouble finishing at the rim here, despite finding the looks.
Well, it's a similar story to yesterday, isn't it, where they couldn't get the scoreboard ticking early on. Marici moves it on. Long range shot is short. A little clap of the hands from Korodu. Richie's going to get called for the foul. It's on the floor.
And Moraes, he's just so strong. There's very few guards in this tournament that are his size and can move so quickly with the ball. Look at that, he just bullies his way right through to the rim, and that's going to be a foul almost every single time.
Here he is in the corner for 3. And it doesn't go. Korodu pulls in the rebound.
So a great closeout there by the defense, forcing him to let that shot off maybe a little bit earlier than what he was hoping.
Pulls the horns, goes around the screen from Najar, takes the elbow jumper, and it's 6-0 Morocco. Angola haven't scored 4 minutes into the game.
And that one is all on Ambrosio there. He's got to make sure that he's closing out his man when that shot's there. You got to recognize Najar. He's already made one of those shots. You can't let them get comfortable like that, creating that space.
Herrera sizes up the shot. It's a little bit short. Richie pushing in traffic, tries to throw the tough pass to Korodu, gets it there. Shot comes out. Oh, I thought that was in when it left his hand, but good save from El Mesbahi. Najar trying to get to the basket, and the foul score first.
Great decision by Najar, but that's just a sign of it right there. There's a guy that's feeling real confident about himself right now, knocking down a couple of shots, but it's time for him to take a timeout. You can see after that move, gets the foul. But that right there, if he doesn't make those first 2 shots, he may not exactly go to the basket like that. He may be looking for the pass. But because he's been playing so well in the beginning, he decides to be a little bit more aggressive.
Richie dancing along to the baseline. His shot doesn't go. The ball comes out to Costa. Paolo, as he loves to do, driving to the basket, draws the foul. And we're almost at the midpoint of the first quarter. And through Lionel Paolo, Angola have a chance of getting their first point on the board.
Once again, just shades of yesterday, Dan. Just can't seem to find a way.
The only difference between yesterday is Uganda had a massive lead by now. Morocco have only put 6 points on the lead.
And Uganda was also at the time putting on the best 3-point shooting display we've seen so far in this tournament.
Well, the man who plays his club basketball at Petroleus in his home country cannot make the first one. 31 years of age, plenty of experience. Finally they get on the board.
There you go, 6-1. Still a bit better than what we were seeing against Uganda yesterday, but once again, as we said, as also Reggie Moore got a chance to come on here, and he was another huge factor for Angola in that comeback. So I don't think the scoring slump is going to stop just yet.
And Wilkins, of course, was the top scorer. He's in the game now. It's a travel.
Yep, definitely.
Cordu with the first step, and then thought, oh, I want to go the other way, actually.
Yeah. Cordu's one of those more slender guys in this tournament, but my goodness, is he tough. He took a beating from the Central African front court in that game yesterday, but just kept bouncing right back, finishing at the rim. Not even really, even when players were getting in his face, trying to intimidate him, he wasn't saying a word, just kept playing the game.
Moras is Cipriano coming off the screen. And foul call. I think it's Joa. It is. Well, it's a fairly tame start to the game here, isn't it? Only 7 points in the first 5 minutes after the fireworks of earlier on. This one, a slow burn at the moment.
It's really just a testament of the style of play from these teams, though. You're not going to see as many flashy dunks from either one of them, but they know how to put the ball in the hoop.
Moore can't do just that. Joa on the trail. He does score. Morocco have a 7-point lead, 8 points to 1.
Something we're seeing here as well. Angola really electing to try and go with a half-court offense, but Morocco not wasting any time, just finding the open man and getting the floaters, getting the jump shots. Moving with a little bit more purpose right now, it would seem.
Moras steps back. 6 minutes into the game, Angola have their first field goal.
Unbelievable. But of course, it's going to come from Moras. He is the floor general here, but he's showing off his offensive capabilities as well.
Nice pass, good catch. Not a great finish though from Joa. Did everything right except put it in the hole.
It sounds like a running theme here in the Afrobasket in Dakar right now. But most teams, they're going to figure it out.
Driving hard under all sorts of pressure as Wilkins. He falls to the ground, but no whistle coming his way. Moras uses his body, but even better than that, Richie with the block.
Moras saying he got hit in the head there, and the referee just says play on. Look at this take here. Looks like it got him, but also if you want to take a look as well, Lirici showing off that athleticism of his. He's giving up just a couple pounds to Moras, but he's not giving up any leaping ability whatsoever.
He's off the court there, pressuring the ball. Cipriano moves it cross court. A nice little stop and go, up off the glass from Conceição. He can't convert, but it comes all the way out to Olympio Cipriano, knocks down the three.
Cipriano, right place, right time. Didn't see anyone around him and just thought, well, nothing else is working.
Well, for as poorly as they've been offensively, that'll be a travel. Angola, and they've only made 2 field goals. They have a chance to tie the game here. Conchasau doing a good job slowing him down on that Euro step, which usually results in a travel, and did there. Cipriano from miles out, and well, I'll let the pitchers describe that one.
I mean, there is, you know, you've heard of course of heat checks, but I don't know if that's is that really a heat check if you've only made 1?
Yeah, true. Khalifi brings it forward. Moore doing a good job defensively against Kuradu.
Absolutely.
And Conchasau coming up with the steal. Here's Moras in the open court. Dumps it off, and shots falling away. He had enough to get it over the ring there, Ambrosio. The long pass down to Kuradu. He's trying to find some way in, and there isn't really one.
Kuradu's actually going to pick up the foul there, as you know, Kuradu understanding as he's trying to get helped up by the Angolan defense there. We'll just see this, just a little bit of space is all he needs. Good job by Moore there, creating some separation, as there's going to be now a timeout.
1:55 to go here in the opening quarter. We're tied at 8 points apiece. International basketball going on around the world as we speak, although this is the last game of the day. They finished earlier in Istanbul and in Tunisia, in Eurobasket, and the other pools here in Afrobasket. We've seen the America won by the Americans a few weeks ago as well. And we've seen Afrobasket women won by Senegal a couple of weeks ago as well. It's a jam-packed summer of international basketball.
That's for sure, and the Senegalese men after today's game have made a case for making it 2 for 2 in Afrobasket this year in the men and women.
Here we go then. Just a light jog over the halfway line to Cipriano, and now he turns the pace up a bit. Gets it back to Moras.
Cipriano did not like that shot, even though he's wide open.
Down to 4 on the shot clock. He gets it off in time. It's short. Good attempt at the rebound there from Ambrosio, but knocked out of bounds, so he'll get an end-line possession for his team.
Second life.
Cipriano likes that open shot. Conchasau with the rebound, and the foul by Wilkins as he caught him.
And sometimes, you know, a lot of people will try and make the case that half-court basketball is the quote-unquote proper way to play, but sometimes the downside to constantly having to run schemes to get open looks all the time, it can kind of work you into a point where you're more obsessed with passing the ball than you are with actually scoring. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing from Angola right now. Now, mind you, obviously they've tied up the game here, and they've managed to kind of halt Morocco's run that they had at the beginning here. Since Morocco was up 6-1, ever since then they've made now an 8-2 run. But you're just not seeing any of those shots really falling at this point.
Wow, 18 points in the best part of the quarter. It's the lowest scoring one we've seen so far in these two groups here in Senegal.
Which is surprising considering they're two of the more talented groups.
Yeah. Amazing, really. And well, we still can't add to it. Maraska gets the rebound. Ambrosio's shot doesn't go. It's missed time by Joe, but he does beat it to the sideline and keeps it in.
I think Morozio actually he underestimated Relimi's ability to close out there.
Relimi at the other end, and Wilkins takes the three. It doesn't go. Last touch by Conchechal, so it'll be a end-line ball for Morocco. Look at this hustle.
Yep.
Oh, right into the bench as well. Good assist from Najjar.
He's doing everything today for the Moroccans. But if you're the Moroccans, you have to be pleased at this point. You know, you might be facing an angry Angolan team, but instead you're facing a team that's really just trying to play its game offensively and get a feel for this tournament.
That's overcooked. It didn't hit the ring, so there's no reset of the shot clock. They've got to go quick, and there's a foul, I think, on Conchechal.
Yep.
And with 18 seconds to go, 18 and a half to be precise, it'll be an end-line ball to Morocco, who started out as the only team who could score, and unless they get a basket here, won't even get to double figures in the period.
Just to finish the thought, though, real quickly, is though you have a number of your starters sitting on the bench for the last 2 minutes.
Levy moves it on. The three is overcooked. Cipriano looks at the clock. There's 5 seconds left. Cipriano pulls up for three off the back of the ring. Wow, there wasn't much in that quarter. Just 18 points on the board. Both teams struggling to score here. At the start of this game, it's Morocco 8, Angola 10. We played 10 minutes here in Dakar. Well, there'll be plenty of excitement in Spain next September, a year from now, for the Women's World Cup. And unsurprisingly, when you see 8 points to 10, the shooting numbers are not great. Combined 1 of 13 from the three-point line for these two teams. So this highlight package probably includes every field goal we've seen in the first quarter. They've been few and far between.
They have. But I must say, though, to the Moroccans' credit here, they have to feel a little bit good about themselves, despite the fact that they gave up a lead that they have. They know who they're up against, and they know this is going to be a long game. When you add in that as well, you also have to remember that they were able to sit out a number of their starters for about half of that quarter, and all they did was give up a 2-point deficit as a result of it. And we looked at Najjar, who's responsible for half of the scoring for Morocco right now. He was only on for about 3 minutes in that first quarter. So if you're the coaching staff of Morocco, you could sit here and say, well, we gave up the lead, but if we just keep our pace and keep our bigs, and just the fact that our bench is coming in and doing a pretty solid job of holding down this Angolan offense, mind you, that's really just elected to just strictly run in half-court offense. If the Moroccans can just keep hanging tough here, they might be able to pull off another upset, and Angola might have to pick up the pace a little bit here.
Second quarter underway. Conchechal calls the play. Looks like he's flattened it out to go himself as now the screen comes up from Mingas.
He had him beat too on the spin.
He had him beat on the step as well, and he'll go to the line, shoot a couple.
Once again, we're just seeing, it just almost looks like Angola's holding back a little bit, wouldn't you say, Dan? Because like that decision right there, if we're looking at Conceição really, when he had the defender beat off the spin, he still elected to bring it back, kill him a few more minutes, a few more seconds off the shot clock, use the screen, still had him beat again, as you said, and still wasn't able to finish at the line because he did get hacked a little bit, but that's the kind of layup you almost expect him to finish.
Well, they just haven't really clicked here, have they? I mean, they played well in the third quarter yesterday, and then down the stretch and in overtime, they managed to pull it out, but they've, like you said at the top of the show, you expect a response, you expect them to come out and put down a marker, but they haven't done anything of the sort here through the opening 11 minutes or so.
They don't look like 11-time champs right now, but that can change.
Cipriano moves it across, and it's a little traveling violation there.
Just a little fidget of the feet.
For Minga, so he wasn't convinced whether he should shoot the ball or not.
That's another thing to also keep in mind, though, as well. Angola, this is the second game in a row now where they've had to play at 9 o'clock at night. So you've been sitting through the day all day. Who knows where you... Now, you hope you're staying in an air-conditioned room most of the time. But even the warm-ups here, they had a longer warm-up than most teams have had. The humidity, of course, has been a factor throughout this entire group stage here. That could have a factor more than anything, too.
Little baby hook there inside from Reda Lima. Cortez tosses it in to Moore. Not seen much of him so far today. Maybe this. He takes it inside. He takes it strong. He draws the contact, and he'll go to the line for a bonus.
And that's the Moore we've come to know and love in this tournament, especially in that. Look at that, just great head fake, pump fake, just absolute textbook finish. By the time he gets ahead of steam, I mean, you almost have to tackle him to prevent him from scoring.
He misses the three-point play opportunity. Wilkins with the rebound.
And that's actually a rare free throw miss for him. He was very consistent against Uganda yesterday.
Khalifi picks the ball up. Oh, it's a bit too high and over the head of El Bahi. Conceição calls the play, fist in the air.
Here's Angola looking like to turn up the pressure a little bit here.
Moore, plenty of time. Probably didn't need the dribble. And they don't get the rebound either. It came off Minga's last.
Now, I know it's kind of hard to see sometimes on the monitor on your screen at home, but if you take a look at Moore's feet on that shot there, the feet were just a little bit kind of separated, pointing outwards. And sometimes you'd be surprised how much of an effect that can have on your release if you're not consistent with your footwork and you're letting those kind of shots go.
Inside to Najar. Wilkins with the jump shot doesn't go.
I'll be honest, if I'm Morocco right now, I'm trying to set up a pick and pop here for Najar. He's proven that he can knock down those jumpers, and although it will be an interesting matchup now that Moore's on the floor with him, because some of the bigger Angolan forwards were letting him just let it go. Moore's not that kind of player.
Star beats his man and slows down. It's Cipriano. And Star gets open, but he goes behind the back to Mingus, who backs down, spins. Tough shot, good defense in the end.
Dare I say that behind the back pass, I think, is the most exciting thing we've seen in this game so far.
Well, neither team able to kick into life offensively. They kind of want that the other way around. I know they get a foul for El Masbi in the post, but they kind of want Najar down there and El Masbi throwing it into him.
Conceição a little dumbfounded there. Goes, if he's fading away and I'm standing still, where's the foul? But
here's Najar. Wilkins takes the three-point shot, and it bobbles out of bounds. Last touch by El Maksoud. And Wilkins is going to sit down. They keep changing the balls at the moment. And they inbounded the ball, and there's still one of the floor wipers on there trying to get the perspiration up off the floor.
Yeah, that sums this game up perfectly so far. A lot of stops in play. Here comes the talking. Yep. And you can see there, number 37, Conceição, talked to him just a little bit, and it looked like it got a little bit physical there. Almost got in his head a little bit, it almost seemed.
Well, I'm not sure what Stefan Nadim is doing there, because you're fouling a guy 70 feet from the basket. What's he going to do? It's just a needless foul.
Yep. Sometimes you got to just let your opponents talk. You're not gaining anything from it, from giving him a shove at this point.
Cortez moves it on to Mingas.
Oh, nice separation there.
Cipriano shot doesn't go. Najar with the rebound.
Great defense there. And probably got a piece of it.
Conceição steps he dumped it back to Moriera. He can't convert. Cipriano has a lot of space on the three-point line. He doesn't make it drop. And there's a foul on the shot there, and Yannick Moreira will go to the free throw.
And Yannick talking to himself. He's upset with that one, but to be honest, he's got the length and he's got the athleticism. You sometimes wonder with these bigs that are standing at just over 2 meters, why they don't, especially when they have the length that Moreira has, why he doesn't just go up, take the contact, just cram it down. It's not like he doesn't have some vertical on him.
Oh, we saw plenty of that in overtime.
And lo and behold, that's when he started converting the three-point plays and giving Angola the win. I think sometimes, though, you look at a guy like Moreira who's spent time in the D-League with the Raptors 905. He's used to going up against guys that are usually his size, and in this tournament, he's not going to face many people like that. And he's been trained to kind of take that contact and kiss it off the glass. But when you're going up against guys that are literally giving up about 20 centimeters in height to you, sometimes it's just better to throw it down forcefully and just get a bit of an attitude going about you and maybe wake up this crowd in your bench a little bit.
Playing in Russia now as well, so there's some big units in that league that he will go head-to-head with as well.
Absolutely, and some bigger paychecks.
And it's tipped out of bounds. And it'll be a possession for Morocco. He inbounds it nicely, and Najar wakes the scorekeeper up, gives us something to do.
Najar, he's been feasting off of the starting lineup of the Angolan front court. He's got 6 points.
There's a little bump there between Marici and Conceição. They now give a little slap of 5 and a handshake as they head off back to the coaches. Only the second time out of the game. Well, we've played almost 15 minutes and we've seen 24 points combined. It's been very low scoring here, unusually so.
Yeah, very much so, Dan. This is just not the kind of game we were expecting, but I think also, you can't ask for 4 incredible back-to-back games like we've seen today on day 2 in Afrobasket here in Dakar, Senegal. But once again, you've got 2 teams that are looking timid and looking to kind of just feel each other out. If this was a boxing match, then this would be the first 3 or 4 rounds of both fighters just kind of feeling each other out, a couple of grappling, not many haymakers thrown, not many chances taken, because at the end of the day, both of these teams, although it is kind of odd to think that as well when you think that both of these teams have the wins. So, you know, all the more reason, I guess you could say, to try some things out, try a little bit more play free and loose, but I guess the coaching staffs and the players on both of these rosters are going to have none of it. They really want to try and see what they can put together against tough competition. But just what it really just kind of looks like to the fans right now is just a whole lot of hesitation.
Conceição has it for Morocco, for Angola even, and it's almost thrown away. Fortes comes up with it, lets fly the 3, and I think Najar might have got a foul over the back there.
Yep, Najar's going to get called for it.
And I think that's his 3rd personal foul. He's going to dispute it, but the referee's not going to change it. It's not going to come out of the book.
No.
But my mistake, it's his 1st foul.
He has played a pretty disciplined game so far. 6 points, just 1 foul. He's been the reason that Morocco is on the board in the way that they are, although not.
Well, he's the only guy who scored more than once.
Yeah, yeah. And I think actually, yeah, for both teams that are on, out of all players on the floor right now. There's Moreira long again. And Yannick Moreira, as you said, heading to Russia this year after a successful championship in the D-League. He's got a lot of years ahead of him left in both international and professional basketball.
He breaks the tie. Angola lead 13 points to 12. They come with a bit of full court pressure. Souza up there pressuring the inbound. Look at Najar running the floor like a point guard. Well, actually he's not.
Proves it there.
Yeah, but he's there at the end to lay it in. And Morocco back in front.
And it's all Najar right now for Morocco. They got to ride this wave while they can. Keep feeding the big man the ball.
Moreira. Good ball movement, open 3.
There we go.
It's Morass in the corner.
He's just taking off some of that tape though. You can see it, he's checking his hand again.
He seems to do it on every made shot.
Yeah.
Good pass, Najar's underneath. But too much zip on it. Fortes, nice. Oh, he's made. Oh, good follow from Souza to throw it down.
And Souza waking up the crowd a little.
But
And there's
Najar's
Najar
at the other end. And Conceição has to foul him. That was a really quick turnaround from the Moroccans.
And Conceição, he's been getting real physical out there. He's been taking on just about everybody, big and small. Here's Najar, though. A little bit of action now, a little bit of highlight reel finishes. As Najar makes good on the first one. He's just such a big body, though, and a nice smooth touch. You can see why he loves that elbow jumper so much. He's even consistent on his free throws here. But he's just the right height, though, Dan, you see, to get that nice little arc going on his release. There's really no weird adjustment he has to try and make with the rim, unlike someone like Moreira, who's standing at 6'11".
Offensive foul called on Souza. Conceição just sat down, by the way, because he picked up his 3rd foul. There's only been 5 fouls on the game on Angola, but he's got 3 of them.
Some people will call that tough defense. I said tough, though, not necessarily smart, but tough.
And that's too far out of the reach of Wilkins.
Wilkins, a big factor for Morocco in getting that win over a Central African. He knocked down some huge threes near the end there, the American-born Moroccan. But he's no stranger to those kind of games and those kind of moments, and he's no stranger to a team like Angola. And I guess that's kind of a testament to both of these teams. Some very heavy veteran presence here. A lot of these guys have played some very big games. They understand the importance of the system, and maybe that's why it's been such a slow-moving game so far.
Herrera takes it in and dunks it. That looked like a double dribble, and that's certainly what the Moroccans bench is saying. They come back the other way. Wilkins puts the ball on the floor and draws the contact.
That's definitely something that these Moroccans have going for them between Najah and Wilkins. Those are a couple of really big, wide bodies that aren't afraid to put the ball on the floor and get going. And we're just seeing Herrera, nice throw down there. Looks like he just kind of put the ball in front of him and saw the. There's the coach still there at the time going double dribble.
It did look a bit weird. Maybe it wasn't a double dribble, but there was something. Didn't look natural on the eye, put it that way.
Yeah, you could maybe even just chalk it up to the fact that if you ever stood next to Herrera, I mean, this guy is absolutely massive. It's not so much in the width department, but he's so long. It doesn't even look like the ball really hits the floor when he dribbles it. His arms are so low to the ground. Almost looks like he carries it the whole way. But Wilkins is able to make good on one of the free throws as well.
Well, Jihad Benchlicker into the game for the first time. Didn't play yesterday, I don't recall. A nice pass, and that's a good one. Oh, Sousa can't lay it in. I think he was expecting somebody to be there in an attack, and there wasn't.
Nope. And when that happens, you got to just go straight up. You got to be aggressive in those situations. And unfortunately, being timid almost never pays off in basketball.
Will that count? Yes, it will. That's a nice finish through the lane from Larici.
Larici, how many times we saw him pull that one off against the CAR. We saw almost the exact same play, only with his right hand. And when you can do both with both hands, I mean, how devastating of a weapon can that be?
Well, plenty of conversation going on there while the free throw is being taken with Najah very vocal, and his coach too. What's happened there?
It looks like someone forgot to reset the shot clock.
The referee's going to check it out as the horn went.
Tie game now.
Well, there's been so few baskets that neither of them can get away.
We did see a little brief period of excitement there, moving up and down the floor with a few dunks and pretty finishes. I know Moroccan coach, he wants his team over for a quick impromptu timeout here.
Well, I can only assume the shot clock has stopped working or something because there's no numbers on it.
Yep. Looks like it just gave out. I can imagine the Moroccan coach now is just telling them, hey, it's time to just start putting the ball in the basket, just play ball, move around, take some chances on some shots, which is something that Morocco has been doing to their credit, just finding the open man. Still kind of waiting to see Angola, I don't know, pick it up a little bit, I guess you could say.
Well, one referee has broken the huddle and run over to the near side as the players take the opportunity to get some liquid on board. And now the clock is on, and they're just going to tick it down to 19. So, all right, fellas, you've had your break. Let's get back out there. Come on.
Yep, well said. You can see just the sweat pouring through the Moroccan jerseys there. I mean, these guys, we're kind of lucky enough we're up here in the booth sitting next to some fans. But when you go down there and you walk around a little bit and you realize just how humid it is down there on the floor.
Well, you wouldn't want to be the kit man having to wash that at the end of the game.
Ooh, definitely not.
Russ to inbound. Here's Costa now. Costa trying to get around the screen. Throws it away. And, well, Larici almost lost the ball there. He was so quick, but he did manage to regain it and lay it in.
I think both of these teams are just so sweaty that when that ball hits any part of your body that's not your hand, it just completely slips.
Moreira can't score over Najjar. Both benches want a foul, neither gets it.
Kudos to Moreira, though. Starting to get a little bit more physical, taking chances, going right to the hoop.
This bench looker onto Wilkins with the fall away that falls short.
I'm not going to lie, looking at it even from up here, you're starting to see the ball shine a little bit here. It might have a factor as to why some of these shots are so off.
Well, we get a shot going in, and it's waved off because he stepped out of bounds.
Unbelievable. There's Moraes, and he actually doesn't have a bandage on his hand anymore.
Oh yeah, he's abandoned the tape. This is the one where both players wanted a foul, both benches at least. And Najjar certainly had a word with the official. Benchler driving through, throws it back. And there's a pushing foul, I think, on Costa.
I think there that was just a situation where Ben Shilka was dropping it back. He was assuming that Najjar, as you see it right there, I think he was assuming Najjar was going to cut around up to the elbow where he's been so deadly from in this game. And instead, Najjar just kind of watched him walk by. But luckily, it was recovered.
And the first free throw is made by Zakira El Nasabi, who, like about half his team here, plays for the AWS Saleh team in Morocco. One of the leading lights of North African basketball.
There we go. Not a great place to kill your dribble.
He was in trouble there, but he got out of it. Paolo penetrates.
Yep.
Pass is stolen away, though.
Angola just does not look very sharp right now.
No, they don't at all. Larici loses it, and they stumble out of bounds. But again, that was one where it just kind of slipped away from him.
I've said this before, though. I brought this up yesterday. We had a chance to dribble these balls around a little bit before the setup, the first day that we got here, and you got to be honest. I mean, great balls, mind you, but they are just a little bit hard to the touch. And when they're inflated the entire way like that, adding into the fact that with the humidity in the arena, and whenever that ball touches any body part that isn't a hand, I mean, you're asking for trouble. It's going to be a very slippery ball, and you know, that's to be honest, I feel like that's a big reason why we've seen so many missed three-pointers and so many air balls. I don't think we've ever seen so many air balls thrown up in an international competition before. And it deserves to be mentioned, though, because when people are watching this on TV and watching it over the webcast going, oh my goodness, like, how are these guys not able to make a shot? Well, to be honest, if you're in here and you're seeing the kind of conditions that are on at the time, now mind you, of course, it is a fantastic setup, but when that ball is getting a little bit slippery, it's hard to shoot it.
Well, there's 57 seconds best part of left here in the first half. Morocco leading Angola 23 points to 20 in a very low scoring first half. There are games where you can see this as a quarter score, never mind a halftime score.
Yep.
Here's Costa.
Looks like he almost got away with a carry there.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to pick it up, didn't he? Souza kicks it out. Maras' three-point shot doesn't go. Najar with the rebound.
And Maras, ever since he's taken off that bandage, well, mind you, he's only taken 2 shots. Here we go, 25 seconds.
Wilkins moves it round, and Richie's fouled on the floor. But they're over the limit, so it'll be 2 foul shots. I think both coaches will be looking forward to half time.
Oh, definitely. There's a quick replay. Richie knocks down the first one. Honestly, I feel like Richie, he might have to start trying to get something going here for his team. He's just so quick. He's got a killer crossover too. He's one of the more impressive players I've seen coming into this tournament.
Well, final play of the first half. Costa waves him down. He's going to go alone. And he does, and he dumps it off, and Souza jams it in on the buzzer. Good play to finish by Angola, but both teams will know they have to come out a bit more aggressively offensively in the second half. They need a bit more of this sort of thing. We're at the half here in Dakar in this FIBA Afrobasket 2017 group game. It's Morocco 25, Angola 22. And as they make their way to the changing rooms for some discussions with the coaches, we'll have a look at the numbers. Look at that. 2 of 21 combined from
like going back to the boxing analogy earlier, the fight's gone through about 6 or 7 rounds, and it's about time for both teams to really figure out what the other team has and start attacking the weaknesses and start aiming for their own personal strengths. And at this point, really just given by how competitive this group has been, make no mistake, whoever loses this game is still not a guarantee to move on to the next round. The Central Africans and the Ugandans have both proven that they can give anyone a hard time.
Yeah,
so,
that's the interesting point about this. The winner of this will take a big step towards the next round, but the loser is in all sorts of trouble, because this is the very tight group, because you've got well, whoever loses this will be 1-1 alongside the Central African Republic, who are 1-1, and Uganda are 0-2 at this stage. And tomorrow is Morocco, Uganda, and Angola, Central African Republic. And Uganda are 0-2, but could be 2-0. They could easily have won both their games.
Absolutely.
As we have a look at that shot, but so that's the thing, you know, it's going to be a tough day tomorrow.
Yep.
In this group.
And really, when you also add in the fact that Uganda, I'm sure for a fact they would love to spoil someone's party if whoever they face, or sorry, excuse me, when they face Morocco, if Morocco does end up on the losing end of this game.
Well, I suppose in theory, there's still a chance that Uganda could get through, because it's still possible that all teams could end, or 3 teams could end 1-2, and then it gets into very complicated maths. And I'm sure you will have worked it all out for me by the time we come back tomorrow in terms of the qualification. But
oh, absolutely, it's what I do. I aim to please, Dan.
It's yeah, it could get very head-scratching tomorrow in Group B. It looks a little bit more clear-cut in Group D, because we're assuming that Senegal will win their final game and get through, and you would make Egypt the favorites as well, but we'll have to watch that one closely. But this group is still very much in the balance. Cipriano's 3 doesn't go.
We're going, just for people watching at home, just be advised it is 25-24 for the Moroccans over Angola. Costa, with that earlier jump shot near the beginning of the quarter, has brought Angola to within 1.
Well, it's been very close. Oh, just couldn't hang on to the ball there, and it's out of bounds. It's been very close throughout. I mean, that is the beauty of low-scoring games, is they're usually close.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And this game is no different in that sense. It's just over the line now.
Cipriano taking it to the hole. And Chua running the floor, wanting it back, doesn't get it. Wilkins on the trail, steps into the three-point shot.
Well, he usually makes those too.
Yeah, I think, well, the interesting thing is Benchlicker, when running after the rebound, if he'd stayed where it was, it would have come to him. It ended up going over his head. He was a bit unlucky. Can't fault the hustle, though. And there
oh, wow, what a pass.
Floor, but gets it out. Costa underneath, throws the bounce pass behind the back. Tipped, and eventually it's in from Reggie Moore.
There's Reggie Moore. Always seems to be at the right place at the right time when he's finishing. There's an American-born from Angola. Impressive finish. He's got a great nose for the ball, if you will.
Here's Wilkins. Mosby moves it on. Gets it back. Shot clock is getting low, and it's ripped away by Costa. Ignore the horn, keep going. Oh, my. Oh, is he all right? And Mraz is there to convert. He just slipped at the half court there.
There's Moore again.
A timeout is called.
And that was the play right there that got the floor so slippery.
And then this is the tip in from Miller, but yeah, to be fair, the guy wiping the floor had come on the court as we have another look at the putback from Moore, and then the game started playing, so he had to move out of the way.
He had to, yeah, he didn't really.
And then I think it was Moraz pointing to the referee that there's a down patch there, but the game didn't stop in time, but he does look like he's all right, and a timeout has been called 3 minutes into the quarter, and Najjar and Larici basically carrying their team right now. You see the third top scorer has 2 points. They've got 19 of their team's 25.
Yeah, Larici with a couple of impressive finishes at the rim, including a nice and one.
Relima, let's give him a shout out because he's also got 2 points. So tied in third place.
But as we've said, this has been one that's going to come down to really just who's going to make the fewest amount of mistakes, who's going to finish most amount of shots. It kind of goes without saying in basketball, but
you just get a feeling that the first team to make a run is suddenly going to end up 12, 14 points ahead.
Yeah.
And it'll only need to be a 2 or 3 minute run as well, the way things are going. Richie drives in. That's nice ball movement from the Moroccans, but they get nothing from it. Cipriano is trapped in the corner there. There's no way out. And despite excessive protestations from Najjar, it is a Angolan ball.
Yep. A good effort nonetheless, though. Don't look now. Now, can Angola be that team, though, that goes on the run now that you were speaking about? They're up by 3.
Oh, it's an 8-second violation because he got trapped on the baseline. He took a fair few seconds off there. And it's one of them that, because it's an inbound ball, you kind of don't look at it, but the referee obviously was. And the Moroccan bench certainly were. Just get it over the line in time.
Yes, it does. This game actually almost has a bit of a NCAA tournament feel to it. Both teams are really just doing everything they can, set up their half-court offense, run through the play, use up the clock. You know, one possession, one shot sort of thing going on. A lot of defensive rebounds, not many second chance opportunities. Excellent boxing out done by both defenses. So it really is a testament to their defense as much as it is maybe a little bit of struggle on the offensive end.
El Maksoud, good head fake, draws the contact, And that's the thing. Once you get the guy up in the air, there's almost nothing MAROC can do in that situation. You just got to, well, don't go fishing is the advice.
Yep. It's just one of those cases where, once again, though, and you could also, given the flow of this game right now, Dan, it could be won and lost on the free throw line. Both of these teams are actually very good free throw shooters, arguably the best free throw shooters in Dakar in this stage of the tournament.
Well, Adil El Maksoud on the line makes the first one, plays his club basketball for CRA Hasima in Morocco. And good work from Najjar initially, but he couldn't hang on to it.
Nope. But once again, Najjar, him and Moore, that's going to be the real intriguing battle right now between those two, because they've both shown that, you know, they're almost the exact same body type and style of play. They both hit the mid-range jumper. They both are not afraid to put the ball on the floor.
Good beards as well, if we're doing comparison. Moore has it.
They could be brothers.
They could be. And foul is called as Moore was trying to make his presence felt. Mohamed Shua could only grab hold of it. Costa, top of the key for three, off left.
Give El Maksoud another rebound for his stat sheet.
Najjar way out for three-pointer. Had the line but not the legs, and it bounced off the hand of Olympio Cipriano last, and possession goes back to Morocco.
There's El Maksoud talking about being the right place at the right time. But also Lurigi, when that shot comes down, sometimes it's not just about getting the offensive board. Sometimes just being there and just tipping that ball loose and knocking it off an opposing player is enough to regain the possession. Just, you know, despite the fact that we're not seeing a lot of scoring in this game, we are seeing a lot of the little right things being done. And maybe that's part of the reason why this is such a low-scoring game.
Well, should have scored there. Gonçalves off and running. Gets it to Cipriano. Cipriano lays it in off the glass, and Angola double their lead to 4.
He was taking no chances there, finishing with both hands, touching the backboard as he went up. I don't blame him, though.
Well, yeah, we're going to make sure. Najjar called for the foul off the ball. Gonçalves in a heap on the floor.
Gonçalves just forever the aggravator, getting himself involved. He knew he was outmatched physically. Look at this.
There's a little hip and forearm action there.
Yep. To his defense, though, Najjar did clearly catch him a little bit with the hip.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yep. Sometimes, hey man, by any means necessary at this point, if you got to embellish a call, especially if it's the right one, you do it.
Well, they've left Maraz open underneath. Eventually Najjar got there, but too late.
Yeah, Maraz.
And suddenly, we were talking about, is there a little bit of momentum coming Angola's way? They've stretched out to a 6-point lead.
And look at that, the tape is back on for Maraz.
Yeah, and the baskets start going in again. Oh, the poor one there from Najjar. He gets crossed up at the half court as well.
There we go.
Around to Gonçalves, more in the low post.
Yep. And that was the matchup we've been waiting to see, and Najjar, unfortunately, reaching in at just the wrong time. And that's not the side you want to reach in on. You don't want to give Moore the baseline like that. He loves that spin move. As you see him go in. Attempt the dunk. Just not high enough, though.
No. Third foul on Najjar. He sits down.
And now he's directing traffic to Moore.
He wants it again. Backs down. Double team. Kicks out. Gonçalves from behind the arc, off the back of the ring.
Oh, that's a great gamble by the Moroccan defense, forcing it out of Moore's hands.
Oh, on the trail.
Excellent job. I think that's the first fast break points they've had in this quarter.
Cipriano trying to shake and bake, gets it back to Moore.
Yeah, it wasn't, Luigi wasn't having any of it.
And pretty obvious foul there from Adil Al Maqsood. Hands all over Reggie Moore in the low post. You'll see it here. Oh no, this is a replay, sorry, of the basket at the other end. Here it's a push. I think I said that was Maqsood, and actually it was Relima who fouled him. Moore for three, falling down.
It looked good from here too. Tough bounce.
Al Maqsood. Richie. Short from 19 feet is short.
He's got to know where he is on the floor though. That's got to be a three-point attempt if you're going to shoot that far away.
Joe just knocks it out of bounds, and it'll be possession for the Angolans.
Once again though, Angola, just when you think they're about to go on a bit of a run here, they've kind of stalled themselves. They will have an opportunity though to get another basket here. Meanwhile, the Moroccans, they're just hanging around at this point, maybe hoping at some point to catch a little bit momentum themselves.
Well, it might be whoever has the last run. It might be whoever scores the last basket, in truth.
Very true.
That's the foul for three. Moore with the rebound off the glass. Or Angola might just sneak away here. They've got to 6.
And Moore, as we said in the second half, so important in that win over Uganda that went to overtime. He's showing his worth yet again here. He's just one of those kind of tweener bodies. He's just big and physical and athletic.
Al Maqsood banks it in for 3.
Al Maqsood keeping the Moroccans in it though.
They needed that.
Without question, that was their first bucket in about a minute and a half.
A good dive to the basket by Moore, and well found by Maras. And Moore will go to the free throw line, shooting 2. Here's another look. Squared it up and
kiss off the glass, and here's Moore, and that's just the kind of finish. They're just getting himself inside off that foul. He's been such an important factor for this team in the first 2 games for Angola, coming off of the bench. And this kind of style of play suits him though, right? The kind where you're just setting up your half court. He's pretty comfortable just about anywhere on the floor. You've seen him let a couple fly from outside as well. He's got an opportunity to extend Angola's lead here as well.
He makes the first. And he's going to get himself a breather with Moreira checking in for him.
And of course now Moreira, a different kind of big.
Yeah, indeed.
That's
a very different kind.
Yeah. Almost the opposite in body type for a forward.
Lima in a bit of trouble, so he takes matters into his own hands. Now he wants the ball in the low post, but Al Maqsood goes alone. Al Maqsood all the way to the basket, lays it in. And he's got a chance for a 3-point play.
Al Maqsood, excellent job there taking on the Angolans. I don't think they were expecting him to be right there. And once again, though, if you're looking on that replay there, that was an excellent box out by number 15 on Morocco, Relimi, who was able to keep Moreira from coming to challenge the shot. And once again, we're talking about the fact that even though it's a low-scoring game, both of these teams highly, highly disciplined on both their offense and defense. Very high IQ teams going at it here right now, and that's just another example of it.
A quick chance for Paolo to attack the basket, as we've seen so many times over the last couple of days. He's very much a north-south player. When he gets it, he's going to the hole.
Speaking of north-south, here's another one. Larici with the ball.
Wilkins kicks inside. Well, I'm not sure how they lost Reda Relima in there.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I think it was just basically, as you could see, it was Moreira that had the switch off on Larici. And as a result, when Larici had finally made a move to the basket to get the pass off, Moreira had to make that spin back. By that time, Relimi was already deep inside the post. And Moreira, to his credit, he does have the lateral quickness to keep up with a guy like Larici, but you can't leave the big man open down low. And as a result now, he's making him pay at the free throw line.
Well, he's listed at 209. He looks more like 215 to me. But he's certainly a big unit.
He is. You see him, he was going about nose to nose with Moreira in the post there. Moreira's listed at 211. 6'11" in Old English terms.
Yes, it is. Relima looks like an old-fashioned 7-footer, doesn't he?
Oh, very much so. And he got the job done that time.
And there's still 3 points between them. 190 to go. No way through for Ambrosio, and it'll be an end-line ball to Morocco.
Yeah, and it just looked like their Ambrosio, also known as Miller, he slipped a little, and there he is. Yeah, he's telling the referee as he was going up there with his left hand, you could see his left foot kind of gave out a little bit as he was going up. And he lets the referee know that, hey, there's a spot there. Now they're cleaning a completely different spot. But regardless, safety first.
Yep. 80 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Morocco trailing Angola by 3. But with the ball, so a chance to do something about it. Oh, banged in. Al Maksud wants a foul as well. So did the bench, but he ties the game at 38 with a minute to go in the third.
Well, here we go. And despite the low-scoring affair, this has been a little bit more of a lively third quarter. Both teams now making shots.
And it's a push-off there from Paulo, so turning the ball back over.
Morocco's got a chance here. Take a lead going into the fourth. I think that's all they could have really asked for. Look at the replay. Looked like it did look like there was a hand there, but once again, doesn't matter. You made the shot.
Maksud backs out. Shot clock down to 7. Oh, nice pass. And Relima is there to finish inside.
Second time in a row now that's happened where Yannick has came up and tried to cover the screen, and off that screen, Relimi just sees, his eyes just went as big as saucers, just went right to the basket.
Conceição penetrates in. Paulo dishes off to Conceição. Relimi with the rebound. 7 seconds to get down court and shoot it. Well, here's a guy who loves to do it at a quick pace. It's deflected out of bounds. There's 1.3 on the clock.
And both guys are frustrated there. It looked like he was looking for the pass. That was number 10, Mohamed Chua, was looking for that pass just a little bit sooner, and Larici was kind of still weighing his options there and just waited too long. Here we go.
Relimi, well, I'm not sure Relimi shooting a 3 was the designed play. He wanted a foul, but nothing doing. We're at the end of the third quarter here in Dakar. Still 10 minutes to go in this one, and it's still very much in the balance. It's Morocco 40, Angola 38. Well, they've had the first day of round of 16 in Eurobasket. Slovenia won, Germany won, Italy won, and Greece won. Here's the stats from our game here today. Still not a lot doing from the three-point line. 2 points isn't the end of the world. Angola struggling from the foul line. Morocco doing okay from that distance. But as we take a look back at some of the action from this game, I don't know, I just kind of feel at some point one of these teams is going to hit, I don't know, 2 or 3 threes in a minute or minute and a half, and suddenly you're going to look up at the scoreboard and it's going to be a 10-point game. I have no idea which of the two it's going to be, but I just have this gut feeling that one of them is going to do it.
This has easily been the most evenly matched game we've witnessed so far in the Afrobasket here in Dakar. As we're taking a look here at Moore finishing at the point, but you know what? You can even make also the argument that it may not even have to be the three-pointers. It could just be a couple of bigs getting it done off of pick and rolls consistently, whereas the other team is consistently missing the layups, their layups. I think it could just be, it could be almost any kind of run like that.
The reason I say the three-pointers is because both are shooting the ball terribly from the three-point line, and yet both have good three-point shooters. So at some point you get regression to the mean.
Yes.
And actually somebody starts making some.
Now, and actually to add on to that point, Dan, both of these teams, that's how they won their games.
Yeah.
They've won both of their games. They were having close games, back and forth battles the entire way through. And then right at the end, knocked down a couple of big threes, and then finished with a couple of and ones, and that was the game. So we'll see which team does that here in the fourth quarter.
Cipriano, he takes the three. Thought he was going to make one there just to make me look like I know what I'm talking about, but he didn't. It's tipped out of bounds.
It's too early for that yet,
Dan. Too early for that.
Too early. You can't be doing that. They're telling you to relax a bit.
Bit of a full court show here from Angola, but really only to get the ball out of the point guard's hands, and El Maksoud takes it over. Chua driving baseline, gets a little space for himself, and Morocco lead by 4.
And that's all he needs, though. Gets up right away, no hesitation, finishes at the rim. He's not going to get an easier bucket than that in this game, and that is clear, given the defense.
Moore hits from behind the arc. Maybe I might be right, yeah.
Reggie Moore putting on his best Reggie Miller impression here. Maybe it's winning time for Angola.
It's a 1-point game now. El Maksoud driving in. Tough shot. It goes. He got a bounce. He got a few of them, in fact. And El Maksoud has a chance for a 3-point play.
There's a sign of the coaching staff that knows exactly what it wants. Gets the 3-point play. Everyone's excited on the bench, but here's the coach calling everybody over to tell them what they did wrong.
Well, he's had his say now, and El Maksoud walks back to the free throw line. Chance to, it's a bit early in the game to talk about making it a 2-shot game, but it's been so tight throughout. He has a chance to make it a 2-shot game. He doesn't take it. Costa with the rebound.
Here we go, and any kind of lead is pivotal against Angola.
Moras, nice, using the basket well. The reverse lay-in.
And here we go. We're starting to see the floor open up just a little bit here, Dan. Both of these teams starting to show off just exactly what they can do.
Yeah, it's like we've got through 3 quarters. Let's go for it now. Wilkins inside. Alimi backing down. And eventually Moore commits the foul.
It almost seems like both of these teams were playing a little bit of possum there, Dan, just kind of waiting for this fourth quarter to begin, saving the energy. Because as we've said before, it is a very humid atmosphere here in Dakar. And these players are very aware of that. Both two very veteran-savvy teams that have been in some very big games in all of their careers. They understand the importance of having that little bit left in the tank in the fourth quarter, and we're starting to see flashes of it right now as Relimi knocks down his first free throw.
Well, the second one doesn't go. Nice form on it, but it just caught the ring.
Yeah, he's probably got the smoothest release I've seen of any big man standing at his size so far in this tournament.
Costa got away with that. Moras drives along the baseline, in trouble, gets it out, moved on. Cipriano in the corner, hits the three, and Angola in front.
Here we go. Maybe, Dan, instead of just one team catching fire, we could be seeing two here.
Might, yeah.
It's just a sign of teams that have been there before, though, really. Because despite the fact that it hasn't been a high-scoring game, I've said this pretty often throughout this broadcast, but you're not really seeing many bad decisions with the ball, many dumb mistakes or unnecessary fouls. Both of these teams have been very, very conservative in their approach to the game.
Speaking of unnecessary fouls, there's one from Felizardo Ambrosio.
Come on, Ambrosio, you got to help me out here.
Yeah, he's not even halfway through the sentence about unnecessary fouls, and you commit one.
Yeah, but once again, we're starting to see the teams go for it as well.
Richie certainly going for it, taking it inside. Lima has had a good couple of minutes here, gets it out to Wilkins, and Ambrosio makes amends by pulling down the rebound. Angola get a chance to stretch their advantage.
More thought about it there.
Yeah, he did. He thought about it a couple of times. So too did Cipriano, but his shot doesn't go.
There it is, 2 3-point shooters there.
Two dumps it off. Lima a little fall away, almost knocked away by Maksud, and Moore taps him on the backside and said, yeah, nice play.
That's a good look, but Relimi, he's got to understand what's been working for him, and off of that screen, it's rolling to the basket, and there, he didn't commit. Maybe it's just a sign of fatigue, to be perfectly honest, and of course, now Relimi taking a breath, and Najah coming back in, and there's the guy you want if you're going to do a pick and pop.
Here's Costa. Cipriano. Moras to the spin as it ripped away by El Maksud.
Great defense.
El Maksud with the crossover gets it back, and he must have walked with it, surely. He got a long way, and coach wanted an unsportsmanlike foul. What he gets is a travel.
No, I think you know what, he should even, to be honest, he should be thankful that he got away with the carry. Look at this.
Oh, I see what he's talking about. Costa sort of caught him, but the referee said it was okay.
It looked like he lost possession completely even.
Yeah, it did. From our angle, it looked completely different from coach's angle.
Yeah, you can't call it a foul. You can't call it a travel if he didn't have possession.
Cipriano fakes his man, gets some space, misses the three.
But Angola does not make them pay. And here we go again.
Cipriano.
I'll be honest, I think that may have been a bit of a makeup call just now, because we've seen that kind of shoving happen all throughout this game, and there hasn't necessarily been a whistle very often for them. You can see the coach now still trying to plead his case from from 2 plays ago.
El Misbahi inbounds. It comes around to El Maksud. Najah trying to fight for position. He looked like he got one, but it didn't give him the ball. Now they do. Oh, good pass off. Oh, not quite for Choa. But that's a well-executed play by Morocco.
Yep. You can just see how exhausted these guys are. The body language between the whistles, or sorry, outside of the whistles. And the arms are hanging right now, Dan. The shoulders are a little bit slumped. And this is where it's going to come down to which team is better conditioned.
Well, remember, Angola went to overtime as well last night. That doesn't help. And then, so they had the slightly later finish with extra time on the clock.
As head coach Morocco
played earlier in the day.
Yep.
It's all about being battle tested getting through these tournaments.
Yep. Chua picking a great time to get his first 2 foul shots, and he makes good, and he's now shooting 100% from the charity stripe. Now the referees, they want almost the entire box cleaned out here with the cleaners. I'm taking a look at the head coaches, both of them, just looks of agony on their faces right now. They know what's at stake right now.
You have to say, the floor wipers have worked really hard tonight. They've had a lot to do.
They deserve a raise.
Yeah.
Give them a raise. Because they have been busting it, and it's been the same floor wipers the entire tournament, mind you. They've been here as long as us.
They've not worked as hard as they have in this game.
That's for sure.
Cipriano. Moraz clears some space, gets the shot off, and he's short. Joe with the rebound.
Great job creating the separation there, but he may not have needed it just as much as he did. Ended up affecting his shot.
Najjar drives in, finishes off, draws the contact as well. Souza slipped on the floor, and Najjar took full advantage of that.
Yeah, you look at it here. Yeah, there he goes, right down on the ground. And how many backsides have we seen hit the floor today? But that time around, I don't think, and Najjar doesn't necessarily have the same kind of handles as Hannah from Senegal or any of the other point guards. But you know what? I'm sure he'll still gladly take that one for his highlight tape.
I'm sure it will be on his mixtape. 5.5 minutes to go. Timeout has been called in the game. It's 49 to Morocco, 46 to Angola.
We go looking at the points leaders right now. Moore leading the way with 13, and Moreira in limited minutes once again, though, still bringing down the lead with 5 rebounds as he had last night against Uganda.
We haven't quite seen the fireworks from Moraz. He's got 9 points so far. I just get the feeling he's one of those streak guys that once he gets on that streak, he's going to ride it out as long as he can. Najjar doing a job both on the glass and scoring, and El Maksoud as well. Richie's been a bit quiet in the second half, having been one of the driving forces in the first half.
He has, unfortunately, and you know, this is one of those moments you'd expect for him to shine the most with that lightning quick first step he has. He's just so good at finishing at the rim, but he seems like and he's not on the floor right now, as he seems to have, even while he was on the floor, taken a bit of a back seat to guys like Najjar and Relimi, and just say at this point, you know, we got to rely on our bigs to finish consistently in the paint, because those guys have been looking incredibly sharp for both sides, but specifically for Morocco. Najjar's working the paint, Relimi's working the paint, working off of the screens, cutting to the basket, and there's Najjar right there, proving my point by knocking down a shot that gives them a 2-possession lead now with 5:20 to go here in the fourth.
Here's Costa for Angola onto Cipriano. And he had a double think about that. Moraz probably should have shot it the first time.
Yeah, but Moraz, as you said, one of those players that he's very confident in any shot that he takes.
El Maksoud from behind the arc. Batted loose.
There it goes again, another one to the floor.
And they've got 5 on 4 here. Cipriano. Moore, Costa.
And you can see number 10 for Morocco, Mohamed Chua. And that's another thing that you got to keep in mind here. If you fall on the floor and you get yourself back up and you've got the sweat going on, your shoes are going to catch some of it as well, as we're looking at a replay of Costa.
Moore caught him in the chin there as well.
Luckily, he's got that big beard to protect him.
Well, yeah.
Protect him, sorry. Here we are, the 4th game in a row. Just about winding down here, day 2.
Well, we've had 3 really close ones and 1 really impressive performance from Senegal. So whilst it wasn't close, it was still very exciting and interesting to watch. And the other 3, there's been nothing between the teams.
You couldn't have asked for a better day 2 competition here, as the players are now actually on the floor letting the sweepers know where the wet spots are.
Well, we had 64-67 in our 4 o'clock game, 61-67 in our 1:30 game, so maybe 67 is the magic number here.
Could be. Ribs out though, after a very impressive passing display along the perimeter there. Angola, it just rims out for them, and you have to wonder now, can Morocco start having that pull away that you've been talking about so much, Dan?
Yeah, keep reminding me while it's not happening. Jar inside, draws the contact. And he goes to the line. He's definitely been a big difference maker in this game. And he's got a chance to add to his 13 points. He also has 8 rebounds to his name and a plus minus of 13. He's really had a huge impact on the game.
Yeah, and let's, you know, one of the factors of this game, considering that we've seen so many players having trouble kind of keeping their balance on the floor, it really has came down to a battle of the bigs. And they've done
5 of 5 now. Well, yeah, just as soon as I say that, he misses his 6th attempt, 5 of 6 from the free throw line.
And Ja, he's embracing the moment right now.
Cipriano drives through, loses the ball. Morocco were off and running, but there was a whistle called first. A little reach in. Cipriano. Moore for 3 off the front of the ring. Both teams continuing their woes from distance. That's a 25th 3-point attempt for Angola. They've made 4. 2 of 17 the other way.
See now. Oh, there's another. It's a defender stumbling.
Richie finding a gap, losing the ball.
Coach from Morocco. He is not amused by the attempt there by Larici. But what was Larici to do? Not really an option. Trying to attack himself. I think at this point it just seems like Morocco wants to eat off as much clock as possible before taking a shot.
Well, it's probably not a bad option in a low-scoring game. Oh, Najar with the steal, looking him out and running. Oh, he slows it down. Good change of pace, lays it in. Once a foul, doesn't get one, but all of a sudden you look up at the scoreboard, it's the 9-point lead.
It's the biggest one by far of either team.
Moore wanting a foul, doesn't get one. Souza with the rebound. Najar got a piece of that, but he went in all the same.
There's Souza. And yeah, you want to see Angola a little bit of pressure now. Try and get something going here. Don't look now, but you only have under 3 minutes remaining.
And 7 points in a low-scoring game is hard to find. Big shot here from Wilkins up top. It hits the front of the ring. Cipriano with the rebound. Rest throws it up, and De Souza throws it down.
There's a great finish by Angola. What a find by Mora.
Just when they needed it. Costa really couldn't get out of the way in the foul score.
No, definitely not, but my goodness, Souza. That is Silvio De Souza. Look at this, up, bang. And it really just kind of seems like the Moroccan defense was caught sleeping there on transition, just because Angola has been so methodical in their pace bringing the ball up the floor, but not that time.
Well, Angola had to come from behind in the last few minutes yesterday. They trail by 5 with 2:07 to go today, so they need to try and eke out a win. They needed an extra 5 minutes to do it on day one. Can they once again reach the mountaintop here and pull out a win?
Once again, not the Angola we were expecting to see in this tournament, but nonetheless, they are finding ways to win, and that's what good teams do. When you're not, you find ways to win when you're not on your best day.
Well, if you use the tennis analogy, when it gets to the majors, they say what you got to do is get to the second week. And this is a similar scenario. Just get to the second week. Get yourself to Tunisia and then work things out. If it's not going perfectly here, you've got some time, a few days in between to right the ship. But if you don't get to next week, you can't right the ship.
Exactly. Right now, Angola giving themselves a chance, as they do oh so often, but Morocco is not Uganda. Morocco has been around the way. They know how to put away games. They've proven it in this tournament, as Larici, no good, as I say it, misses the free throw that would have made it a 2-possession game to at least tie for Angola.
Well, they've been pretty decent from this distance today, close to 70%, but that'll drop a little bit after that miss.
There we go, though. He makes the second.
So it's still 2 shots.
And that's just a tie.
Yeah. Well, assuming they're threes. Here's Costa. Oh, he almost lost it, gets it back.
That's it. That's what you want to do as a defense here. You're seeing that the hands are slippery. Take advantage.
Cipriano driving through. Referee says the foul's on the floor. Moreira back into the game. He's got some sort of bandage on his eyebrow.
Yep.
Cipriano to inbound. They need a score here, really. Costa. Cipriano open for 3. Looks good. It isn't good, though. We were right behind that. It looked like it was going in, but it didn't. Less than 100 seconds to play. Morocco on the brink of moving top of this group.
If they can hold off.
And a score here would be huge. But, oh, almost a turnover. It's picked back up. That's a tough shot. Oh, it's a massive shot from El Maksoud.
A shot, and that could do it. But here's Angola. Can they respond?
Well, they just need a quick score. It doesn't have to be a 3. Just get something on the board. Cipriano driving in. D'Souza with the rebound. And I think he was fouled underneath by the captain, El Misbahi.
There's the physicality again, Morocco. And if you're Morocco, though, yeah, take that chance. Get up there and defend that shot. And look at this. He just great awareness, too, though. He knew he only had about 3 seconds left on the shot clock. And there he is, just landing on his foot, landing on the defender's foot as he fell down. Luckily, no one got injured off of that mix-up there.
Well, they've not been very good from the free throw line today. This is Sousa's first trip. Well, that's off. You can see from the camera angle behind. 6 of 14 from the free throw line. So they've given away 8 points. They trail by 9.
That's going to be a tough one here. That was essential to make. Does get the second. Does get the second, and now the Moroccan coaching staff calling for a timeout. They go over the defensive plan here. They got 1 minute in a 3-possession game.
I think part of it as well is you're more likely to lose the ball inbounding from the end line. You've got 2 timeouts to give. with 1:03 to go. Why not just advance the ball in this situation? Because then they play defense differently. If they're in the half court, they might think, well, actually, let's trust our D and get a stop.
Yeah.
Rather than they'll gamble a bit more when it's in the front court, trying to get a steal, and you know, you might accidentally turn the ball over.
Not just turn it over as well. On that comeback, Angola has shown in this game just how lethal they can be on the fast break, and it's something that they can't afford not to do at this point. As you see the Moroccan bench now going over the game plan.
Plus a score here could almost put it out of sight, couldn't it? So
yes,
the other reason for a timeout, you could draw yourself up a nice play, something that you guys like and are used to. Sue getting the ice rub to try and keep him cool, because he's hot right now. He's the one guy who's knocked down a few threes. None more important than this one.
Yep, absolutely huge. Making it a 3-possession game with just over a minute remaining.
He's 3 of 6 from the three-point line. He's the only guy in the game with multiple three-pointers.
There we go.
He's the only guy on his team with any three-pointers.
No fouls.
No, you trust your defense here with 50 seconds to go. Traveling violation.
Oh, wow.
Good way to trust. And Moreira was trying to get on with it quickly, but he was doing so in the wrong place.
Yep. I think he was trying to do that on purpose, too.
Yeah. Here he is going hard to the hole. And the foul is called on Choa, so Yannick Moreira will go to the free throw line. He's not been very productive from this distance today, just 1 of 4, but these are must-makes with 43 seconds to go. These have to go in.
Not just that, you just see it his body language. As soon as he got the ball, he knew exactly what he wanted to do, just attack the rim. But you kind of wish that if you'd seen a little bit of this from him a little bit earlier, a little bit more
urgency.
Yeah, urgency, thank you. That was the word I was looking for. Maybe Angola isn't down by 8 right now. Of course.
Does make the first.
Yep, but he's a big-time player. We saw it last night in overtime. As soon as the overtime lights came on, it's like a light bulb went off in his head, and he just started playing incredibly more physically, finishing his free throws too, mind you, converting a couple of three-point plays.
This needs to go in to make it a 2-shot game. It does. Choa, by the way, fouled out on that play. Forgot to mention that. El Maqsood wants to inbound it. 6 between them, 43 seconds to go. They get it in. Oh no, they've given it away right under the basket. Oh, it's missed. It comes all the way out. Nice by. Oh wow, what a catalogue of errors. First of all, the turnover, and then how does he not score?
You have to score that. You just cannot allow yourself, and how many times have we seen that in this tournament so far though, Dan? Where you get the ball and it's right there. There's no one stopping you. It's just sometimes the players seem to just freeze up.
Well, you see why the coach called a timeout on the last play to advance the ball, don't you? Because that can happen.
Yep.
And now the Angolan coach has decided to call time because he's got to draw up a play for himself.
Yep.
And his team. They're almost to the point where it doesn't have to be a three-pointer now. The problem is they've got no timeouts left, so if it's only worth 2, they're in a bit of freewheeling. They're going to have to foul to stop the clock as well.
I'll be honest, I think at this point, as we've seen the urgency in Moreira, they just had a shot on him sooner. As we're looking at the bench right now, I wouldn't mind setting up a screen off the ball, getting him the inbound, and just getting him somewhere around the three-point line with the ball off the inbound and just let him go to the rim as fast and as hard as he possibly can. For whatever reason, he just always seems to kind of light up in these moments. And he's, once again, we've talked on end during this game about his athleticism and his ability, and we saw it right there as well. When he gets a full head of steam, he is incredibly fast for a man his size. And sometimes, if he gets the ball and he's made his mind up, all you can do is foul him. It doesn't matter who you put in front of him.
Well, let's see what coach has drawn up. Rajara is there trying to pump up his guys in the middle of the lane. It's going to be Wilkins who's got the task of guarding Moreira. Conceição is going to inbound it. Well, it's gone to Maras. Maras fires up for three. It doesn't go. Body's flying on the floor. And I think it's Conceição who's been whistled for. It looked like he was pulling Larici down.
Yep. Once again, though, don't have a problem with that idea as Maras, another big-time player. He's made some big shots for Angola so far, even though we were only through almost 2 games here. At some point, you had to think that he was going to make those shots. And Conceição here now trying to plead his case to the referees.
Well, one of these has to go in for Larici. It's 4 or 5 from this distance. One of these means Angola needs to score 3. Oh, he doesn't make the first.
He's now 1 for 3 on his last 2 trips. Let's see if he can at least make it 50%. Still shooting very well, though, overall in the game, 67 overall.
He's made the second. Angola need 3 scores inside 30 seconds here. Conceição. Maras loses it. Does he turn it over? It's out of bounds. It's a Angola ball.
There it is. And everybody's just flying everywhere now at this point. Morocco, they know what's at stake right now.
And they also know that Angola are going for 3s to defend the 3-point line.
Yep.
You can almost give up a layup.
Yep. If I'm Angola, though, why not just go for the layup and try and force another full court press?
Well, let's see what they do out of this out of bounds. Cipriano to inbound. Maras has got to go quick. Sousa offers the screen. He gets a little space. He has to bail out of the shot. Conceição for 3. It has to go in. It doesn't go in. It's a rebound. And that will do it. A tremendous victory here for Morocco. They're going to run time down. And this is a really big win for them. And look at them celebrate on the bench. They've got a very good chance now of getting through to the knockout stages, having been victorious here. And they will move to 2-0. Angola dropped to 1-1. It's Morocco 60, Angola 53.
Well, Dan, you called it. You said all it was going to take is one team to go on that run of a couple 3-pointers.